this weekend already. But TSM wins today, they're officially tied going into next week, which means #1 seed is going to ride on that game between TSM and Immortals. That's a big one.
Absolutely, but it is troubling for TSM because their loss isn't just credited to P1 playing well and their misread on the draft, but the fact that they played really badly as well. So many uncharacteristic mistakes, not just individually, but macro-wise. They're just all over the place, and it's kind of disheartening because we're reaching the end of the split. We want to see playoffs. We're thinking about Worlds, that kind of stuff. And for a team that we would expect to be able to keep a perfect record, to drop a game in this fashion, rather disheartening.
Well, and here's the thing. We look at Immortals as a team that goes ham, just like, say, Team Liquid does, or even kind of create the chaos that Phoenix One, in a sense, did in that series. So it kind of speaks to if TSM couldn't keep their wits about them in a series against Phoenix One, how could they expect to do so against Immortals?
Also, the fact that the TSM, they showed issues with adjusting to mid lane meta. I also think there could be issues another week down the line with top lane meta going up against a player like Huni, who in previous splits has gone monstrous on Fiora. It's something we've seen a lot in Europe. So TSM may have other problems other than everything we've seen this week that might crop up in the next week, but that's a super hype match for next week.
Oh, very much so. And, of course, that will give them the extra week to maybe figure out 6-14. So as the meta develops here in the NALCS, they either get helped or hurt by it. We'll see how they adjust. Quick reminder about next week's TSM Immortals matchup. We've moved their matches into the Battle Arena to accommodate more fans, and a limited number of tickets are still available on lolesports.com/tickets, so go check that out. While you're there, reserve your seat for the North American Finals on August 27th and 28th. The Air Canada Centre in Toronto, Ontario, Canada will host the best teams in North America as they battle for the title of 2016 North American LCS Champions. Still available for Saturday, so get them before they're gone. We are locked in and ready to play some League of Legends, so it's time to hand it off to the casters to get the matches underway.
Thank you very much, Dash. Welcome everyone to the Battle Theater. I am David Freakchilly, ready to kick off this wonderful series with one of my favorite casters, Sam Kensler.
Yes, sir. I'm here right with you. Let's go.
All right, let's kick off. Yes, let's kick it off. Teams are getting ready on stage for our first match today, and that's TSM versus Team Envy. And we were watching yesterday. Go back and watch it. TSM dropped their first match of the split. They were 14-0. That winning streak is gone. They got taken out by Phoenix One.
And what a spectacular game that was, too, complete with BM all throughout. Anyways, though, after that, in the interview, they were very aware of their problems. You know, Double Lift in his interview with you was talking about
to Summoner's
that we could possibly play. Right now, it looks like they're over it, though. Double Lift laughing on screen there. I mean, that's kind of one of those things where, in the heat of the moment, these guys are thinking, what? How can this 8th place team...
30 seconds until minions spawn.
They get a little bit enraged there, specifically Svenskeren maybe in the jungle. But now that they've had some time to... Whoa, what? He got taunted, man, and it seemed to tilt him a little bit.
And Norris said he wasn't very good. I mean, these are things that happen.
Big talk.
Yeah. Talking about Double Up, though, to bring him up, he's still chasing his 1,000th kill in the North American LCS, 970 right now for him. And, you know, he's still expected to see that by the end of the 9th week.
Yeah, definitely.
Minions have spawned.
For him. He already owns the record of
most
top kills, right? But hitting 1,000, that's just a little star on the cap for him.
Absolutely agree. An extra little perk for him. So, talking about their opponents, so we talked about TSM, an unfortunate loss, but Team Envy have just been struggling for a while, actually. The very beginning of the split looked really good for them. They started out 4-0, but they're dropping a lot of matches, and now they're actually in a struggle to even stay in playoffs. Phoenix One, Apex, and Energy all have a chance to pass them if they don't pick up any more wins, so Envy need to turn things around.
Yeah, Team Envy, specifically when they started losing games after their opponents started getting tougher and tougher, it looked like some communication issues started to surface with the team. Now they are in 6, and they're only 1 match win ahead of Apex. So the pressure is definitely on now, and they are talking about how some of those issues have been fixed for them. The other thing is that they play a lot of unconventional champions. As we saw last night, they played the new reworked solo lane Lulu, which was reworked to be more of a support, and did not really work out for them. However, historically, TSM's weakness has been these unexpected picks, and as we saw, in their loss versus Phoenix One, the Rengar and other things catching them off guard, that may be a thing that can give Envy a leg up, and they can try and sneak in right behind Phoenix One and chalk one up on the TSM loss column as well.
Right, just keep knocking on the Giants. We'll see what happens, though, for Envy. Of course, you talked about the fact that they've been struggling for a while. One of those big struggles was communication issues, but Envy finally feels like they're back on the same page.
그때 그러니까 서로 오해가 있었던 것 같아요. 그러니까 우리 팀 한국의 팀이랑 여기 팀이
AD carry, Vile drops on support with Coach Park.
True enough.
That's on Skyrim as well.
On the other side, though, is going to be Thera in the jungle. Proxen, mid, Ninja, AD carry lot, support Hakuo, and Coach Miracle up on stage. Now, we talked about some of the odd champions that most variation as far as top laner champion pool. Played the most of these champions for top laner, but also Ninja. Team Envy is one of the few teams that could most fan champions against them, and it has a lot to do with the kind of oddball that Ninja does like to play, and his play style is very aggressive, very willing to 1 versus 4, very willing to engage as a mid laner, and we'll see some of that come to affect this pick and ban phase.
I gotta say, Ninja has probably one of the worst games for his play style. Right? He's extremely brazen. To actually, Svenskaren's name actually means sweet in Danish, and he's Danish. So, yeah, we got both sides. Weird. Bands coming out, Gangplank, Trundle.
Yeah, so a first ban Trundle, or a first ban Gangplank to me, signals that they are and pick up here on the top because he's very good in and not one of the also being taken away. Signals, some
forced first pick, which again you can see why that super ban lines up is to ensure they get a safe mid lane pick.
The other thing that was pinched a little bit here is the jungle pool as he'll go right back to progress. But he's very easy to run. Yeah. Especially Bergson. On the other side, though, specifically now drops down to that Ashe. But the Nidalee specifically versus Gragas just against them, they have to lane, and if you have either mid and bottom or mid and top, then they try and move in and counter jungle on that side of the map. And Nidalee is the perfect champion to do that.
I really like this draft right now by
on this game because Italy also has clear speed advantage over Hecarim.
Yeah, definitely agree. So this is going to be a fun one. Dragon's not going to be picked up after all, but it's on a hard form. He's going to hope for his team to kind of keep Hecarim down.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Now we play game 1 of the match, so get on Twitter, share your thoughts about this series, weigh in using hashtag #win or hashtag #NBWin for which as many days. Here we go with game 1.
Yeah, everybody got super hyped up for the TSM loss yesterday just because it's so unexpected. But I find it really funny whenever the conversation does come up. Those are
Damage, Hakuo flashes, and he's gonna get himself away. Use any of theirs in the rest of the wood.
They opted to save their summoners, first blood money, and save their summoners. I mean, you do get a lot less experience for early games.
He's gonna hope they're in a late spot because being down a summoner won't matter if you're not facing anyone. And that ends up being the case. Looks like we have a 2-on-2.
Yeah.
TSM in some way.
I mean, yeah, Karma doesn't have a flash, but it still is a 2-on-2 lane where it's 2 range versus 1 range, 1 melee.
I think they can start it though, because if Biofrost gets like a Q flash, the stun means a double of trap hits. It means they can maybe kill off the Karma.
Oh,
I think with the gang.
the kill pressure is definitely there.
Yeah.
Especially with the extra damage that Nidalee can bring, since, you know, as you say, Biofrost can provide the slow and eventual stun from the passive, but if they keep
Blue
their
team
warding
has
up,
slain the dragon.
Envy should be able to handle this lane just fine.
Both duos take their respective jungle camp. Perfect CS across the board. They all got the 3 melees and the AD carries level 2.
My favorite parts of standard lanes, Freak, tracking the junglers. Both of them should know that the other one started on the top side, even though that is not normal for Hecarim, because Hecarim likes to get
Red
that
team's
buff
turret has
really
been
early,
destroyed.
Very quick clears. And Proxima will be going there next, as he cannot clear any other camps after the first 2 without getting some extra mana. Up there. So now it's up to the mind games of, do you think they're hard clearing all the small camps as well, or going for some early pressure? Because bottom lane is pushed up so far. Yeah, this is exciting, but look at the mini map, because bottom lane is pushed up so far that the advantage here, Biofrost moving in to try and contest.
Yeah, he tried to be scary. Nothing quite happened there on that one. Blue up went over securely to Proxen.
Yeah, and that is that importance of blue buff for Hecarim. They were able to steal that away, or even able to force it onto someone else that would have really hurt Proxy. But they get it, and Envy escape without much harm done. Yeah, now he goes this way.
With the ghost, the wall comes in. Bjergsen is not doing anything just yet. Knocked around, takes some damage, but notice he got away from the stun.
Sitting duck, but before we moused over, you see Ninja was able to get out that passive from Malzahar. Make sure that he gets into the turret, because he has been scared over.
in time. Flash was only a minute away, but TSM found the opening.
They eventually punished the early blown flash of Hakuo. Biofrost gets in there, sets up with the exhaust to slow him so he knows he can hit.
Yeah, really
huge afterwards. Meanwhile, top.
for some damage, but it might be along the way, and Seraph will not have to slow either. So, also surviving the gank pressure. Bjergsen as well.
Yeah, he survived the game pressure, but this wave is in a terrible place for Hanzo. He's going to have a hard time fighting for that vision back. I guess they're just going to leave that pink ward and let him clear it out as Proxen goes back to continue gaining experience. He doesn't want to fall even further behind Italy and spend too much time in these lanes. But here's that replay. The flash there from Biofrost plus the exhaust, everything, because they know no escapes there for Karma, and great secure on that kill. First blood for TSM.
Yeah, really well played. W Flash Exhaust was the combo to make sure it opened up. It doesn't mean that TSM are now missing some summoners. Of course, Devlin using his own flash to be able to land the auto attacks. Proxen pushed out of his window, chased in! Oh, he's gonna get him! Svenskeren, nicely done! Continues to out-jungle Proxen and gets a solo kill.
Officially untilted.
Officially.
Garen killing the enemy jungler inside the red quadrant, and Hunter actually setting up Seraph pretty low and prepped for a dive here as well.
Yeah, Burners TP to get in. Seraph does not have his riposte up right now. Another good grasp hit, and this is dangerous. Of course, Hansu's hitting level 6 very soon, so he was able to teleport into lane and still have the chance to affect the others. This is going to make it difficult for Seraph. Does he TP back in and not lose lane, or does he walk back and lose a bunch of XP?
Well, let's take another look at this. Svenskaren's just like, oh,
And he gets the javelin.
Looky, what I found. Yeah, we know how that one turned out. He didn't have any previous wards up there. He was just going with a normal Nidalee invade. Because last time they saw Proxen in lane, low health. You know, Hecarim, whenever I jungle Hecarim, I always like to get the Hunter's Potion, just because he burns through a lot of mana in the jungle, even if you're not taking a lot of damage. But it also does help you heal up after you do go for those ganks. Definitely one of the jungle champions that buys the Hunter Potion more often than not. Proxen, though, going for the early damage. Wants that early sheen as quickly as possible to have higher impact on his ganks, which have thus far been unsuccessful.
Right.
You know, aside for getting a ghost out of mid lane, which is really low cooldown summoner.
I definitely agree. That summoner's already back right there, as Proxen was not able to return to the scene of the crime. And you gotta say, Svenskeren definitely outplaying Proxen so far in the jungle. 2 kills for him. We'll see, though, as Hecarim hits 6 with 1 more camp. Maybe he can turn something around. But he walks the reward.
It's going to be rough, yeah, because Svenskeren went for the early Tracker's Knife, obviously, on Nidalee, since he's doing so many invades. It's so ridiculously easy from this point on for Svenskeren to keep up the pressure. Proxen is going away for the blue buff trade right now, because he knows that Svenskeren's got too much control of his own jungle, and it's actually quite smart to try this. Hunter is coming over, but Envy have 3 members collapsing. The
nicely played.
The top triangle there for Envy,
Yeah.
ensuring that they can at least trade the jungle. However, check back in on the levels here, because yes, you're able to get blue buff, which people tunnel on a lot. The small camps matter so much too. And Svenskeren's not only taking away the buffs, but he takes away both small camps on that side of the map as well every time he visits. And look at the vision. If you toggle TSM's vision right now, they have wards all over both sides of the enemy jungle. It's so easy for them to track Proxen right now. There will be no surprises from this Hecarim.
Ooh, maybe a surprise in the mid lane, though. Ninja with the blue buff getting plenty of damage into Bjergsen, who
Where'd he go?
hides into the fog of war. Ninja can't find him. Of course, there's no vision for Envy in TSM's jungle, so they weren't able to do the same kind of situation. And of course, also via tracking Hecarim in that earlier Svenskeren gank, the TSM duo lane was able to continue to pressure the bot side. The bottom turret goes down in the heads-up lane. TSM back on form.
That the money there of the kill going over to double lift, feeding the first BF sword that he buys.
Oh, Ninja's going to be coming an egg, and this is going to be him getting dropped. Who gets the kill? It's double lift. Gets him with the net. Astro does not matter. Haunter just looks cool for a few seconds, literally, and walks away.
All right, that was okay. Regardless, though, because the bottom lane pushed up after they got the extra advantage in lane, that is going to be Infernal Drake as the first Drake to go down for TSM. Very great. That is the best Drake for snowballing ahead. And since TSM are out to that early lead, they're pushing up the lanes, going for the jungle invades. Exactly the one that they want.
So really nice stuff right here. TSM look like the TSM that was 14-0 yesterday. This is them in complete control, making a lot of great plays. Everyone firing on all cylinders. So far, so good. Hanser is getting dropped in this lane, though. You're seeing Seraph with a 20 minion lead. He's got a level right now as well. Those are all good points.
Oh, double lift.
Oh, double lift. Well, this looks like double lift as well.
He's got a blue buff, though.
He's got a blue buff. He's also getting tackled into the brush. He's certainly going to die. The kill probably goes to Lod. Hakuho, don't scumbag him. He doesn't. Nice pickup there. And finally a kill on the board for Envy. And Proxy still holds on to Onslaught of Shadows, so we might see another gank soon.
Yeah, some much needed money and the bonus experience there as well. See if Envy actually move more pressure up to that top side. Trying to shove out bottom lane as quickly as possible actually right now. They don't want to give up too much momentum here. Biofrost has been spending so much time up on the top side, hanging around Hanser, since that was the lane that was getting bullied hardest for TSM. But no extra movement from Envy up there means that Biofrost, not much he can accomplish, and just leaves behind the pink ward to add a little bit of safety there. Svenskeren did not walk into that little brush by his blue buff, by the way. So the pink ward that Envy left at the blue buff saw him on the way. They should assume that he's coming here. Actually, that's why Proxen's moving into position for this counter gank, by the way.
And a nice preemptive ward by Svenskeren to make sure he can know the Hecarim is coming in. Here comes the attempt of the fight. Of course, the dodge zone is up. Now comes the battle. One trigger, two. Nice taunt away, and the tackle in for Proxen. There's the flash by Hanser, still on the chase, but the riposte not going to be enough. Heal comes in. Finally, Proxen gets the kill, but there comes the ulti in from Malzahar. That's one picked up, and Malefic Vision turns on to Seraph. Running out of health. He's going to try to pick up Svenskeren, and he's not going to get it. Nidalee lives, and Ninja is sad and alone and now dead. A nice snipe at the end for Svenskeren, saying it was all me the whole time. 6-2 TSM.
Yeah, a bit long of a fight there as Envy had their duo lane in base, so there were just more people on the map that could join for TSM. We mentioned Biofrost's little adventure up to the top side of the map. He just made a return trip, and TSM fully collapsing on that play, able to get extra momentum here in mid. Bjergsen's going to try and get some damage on this turret. Decently difficult, though, with Ashe and Karma.
Yeah.
Move into the jungle instead here. Almost. Taco almost got that large chicken.
Close one there. So TSM don't really get any major objectives off the fight. They just get the plus kills, but we can watch the fight again. It's played quite well.
Right. So you know what Envy are thinking here. They're like, initially, we've got 3 on the top side versus 2 of TSM. But because Hanser is able to delay for so long and make it all the way down to Bjergsen's loving arms, they're able to get the counter kill. And by the time Ninja flashes in, there's just too many members. There are more reinforcements for TSM on this side of the map. And Ninja, having Flash to get in range, has no escapes.
Right, Envy could have just left. They had the 1-for-1 when Proxen actually picked off Hanser and traded his life with the Malzahar ultimate. Both Ninja and Seraph could have said, you're right, 2v3, we're out of this one. No point to be in this fight anyway. And instead they overchased and they lost 2 extra kills.
And over-chasing is more punishable when you don't have that vision. When there is this huge vision discrepancy, TSM can see all of your reinforcements that are heading towards us. They know where every member of Envy was. Whereas Envy, they have no idea what's going on with TSM because there's 0 Envy wards on the enemy side of the map or even in the river. So over-chasing is not something that you can really do when you're behind like this, even though you feel like you have to do something to get back in the game. You have to do something to catch back up.
Right.
Gonna get punished a little bit harder.
Well, as it stands, Proxen wants to repeat gank down here. The wards actually have timed out, and Svenskeren, though he does have some more in his inventory, so he drops one out. And looks like there will be no defense. Just the threat of the 3 members of TSM is enough that Envy will not defend their own turret in the 3-on-3. And they just give away more objectives. TSM really sieging very successfully off of Doublelift's Caitlyn.
Yeah, and this comp is very easy to execute after they've got this great early start, plus the early Drake lead. They just have Shen split push. He doesn't even have to bully the Fiora here, just has to hold at turret, while the Caitlyn Siege and Malzahar, very secure mid laner to have a 4-man push with. You know, he's got great wave clear, and the Voidlings can block a lot of skill shots as well. They just have that 4-1. Start taking down the turrets, and once they build up a bigger and bigger gold lead from all the global golds from these outer turrets, they can easily keep up the extra invades on the jungle and continue to starve out Envy.
That's going to be tough stuff for the red team unless they find some way to turn it back around, but The vision control's been so good, those comeback fights haven't happened. There have been no sneaky ganks.
Yeah, and if we do look at it from Envy's perspective, which is going to be a lot more difficult, it is going to have to come from an Ash Arrow. You always want to fire those from Fog of War. They're going to have to use a lot of sweepers and pink wards that are on their own side of the map, you know, defensive pink wards, to try and find an area to fire the arrow from and actually pick somebody off while they're stunned so they can get a champion advantage before TSM can react. That's very difficult because Shen just stand united on whoever got arrowed. So.
Yes, yeah. TSM actually pretty well situated for dealing with everything that's happening right now. So can't feel too bad as a TSM fan right now. And for what it's worth, if you're also a Phoenix 1 fan, as much as you cheered for TSM's demise yesterday, you now want to cheer for TSM to win.
The hipster, oh, we're the only team to ever beat TSM this year.
but also because if Envy wins his match, P1 are out of playoffs.
Yeah, true.
And Envy must lose all future matches if Phoenix 1 wants to make top 6.
And
so,
Phoenix 1 has to win every.
And they also have to beat Immortals and Cloud9.
Yeah.
Like it's a long shot, of course, for that squad. But if you're one of those people who are now suddenly
hey, if you
one of
beat
those fans,
the #1 team,
why not beat 2 and 3?
There you go. TSM gonna get that second Infernal Drake. That feels good as well.
Yes,
Stacking
it does.
those up. Holy moly.
Stats on stats for TSM. They're going to push into the mid lane. The flash will be to catch up on a Ninja. Goodbye. Double gets done, does not care. And here comes Proxen in to make the 4v5 happen. Under turret, fears double back up, but he did not be the one to pull aggro. It's a quick takedown. Biofrost now has the turret on his attention. He's going to be okay with this one. 2 kills picked up for TSM. Going to knock down the turret as well without much issue. And TSM continue to dominate this game.
Yeah, and now there aren't too many intricacies with playing Malzahar, but one is trying to get your Malefic Visions on the target right before you ultimate them with the Nether Grasp, and even with that flash play where you want to grasp them as quickly as possible, Vixen does it. You know, quick E right before the R, able to thread that one in for maximum damage, and TSM pull off a very clean dive there, even though they tanked the turret almost the entire time.
Yep.
Too far ahead to really matter here, as Envy were a bit too spread out. There it is, flash ER, and they go in for the execute. Double does take the arrow, but yeah, Shen ultimate comes in on top of him as well, and Proxen gets exhausted, so not much they're able to do. Man, the Voidlings and second Malefic Vision zoning and taking half of Seraph's life as well there.
Yeah, for those who saw during that clip, the first half of the dive, there was no turret aggro pulled. It's one of the, to talk in the future a bit, one of the changes planned for 6.16 maybe, that's been discussed on the forums, if you keep up with that whole world. Basically, he wasn't in turret auto attack range. We're going to talk about that in a bit, because Seraph now in a 1v2 gets all the heal off on a Hauser. Now he has a reinforcement from Proxen looking for a bit more damage, but can't quite pick off the tanks. TSM will run away, but no kills picked up for that attempt.
Yep, they were able to chase him off and at least save Seraph's life, though. Plus, Hecarim is working towards the Trinity Force, almost gonna get there. Problem is that there's already completed items, 2 completed items on Svenskeren on the Nidalee far ahead of him. You have to say it's 2 extra because Hecarim here not going for jungle item first.
Right, not even an enchant.
Usually when you see that, though, you do start out with the early Hunter's Potion so that you have the extra sustain, because there's a lot of sustain that you get for building your actual jungle item.
Right.
If you just have this one piece here, it's significantly less. We're well past that stage, though, of really mattering, because Double Lift on the Caitlyn's about to get his Infinity Edge, and TSM are well into the mid-game.
6,000 up, their 4th turret kill gonna drop right there, and Envy have only picked up 2 kills all game long. No objective, nothing special for them. TSM in absolute control right now. Okay, to finish the quick thought on the turret, so I don't want to leave the thought hanging. Just real quick, since nothing going on at this time. Yes, so proposed change about a month from now in 6.16. Basically, Ninja did not get a call for help on his turret because he was outside himself of the turret's aggro range, although TSM were under the turret. The proposed solution is TSM would have pulled aggro there, because Ninja's like, what the hell, why is this turret not helping to render my turret? We'll see if it comes in. But no objective, nothing special for them. TSM in absolute control right now. Okay, to finish the quick thought on the turret, so I don't want to leave the thought hanging. Just real quick, since nothing going on at this time. Yes, so proposed change about a month from now in 6.16. Basically, Ninja did not get a call for help on his turret because he was outside himself of the turret's aggro range, although TSM were under the turret. The proposed solution is TSM would have pulled aggro there, because Ninja's like, what the hell, why is this turret not helping to render my turret? We'll see if it comes in. But that's it in action right there for those who are unaware of the change. For those who haven't heard about it, now you've heard about it.
Yeah, more clearly for like, if the tower diver is in turret range,
Yeah.
you would assume the turret's going to hit him if he's attacking somebody on that team, right?
Right.
Even if the defender's outside of turret range.
Yep.
Right, as of right now, not exactly
As of
the
right
case.
there, yeah. That entire kill for Ninja had no help from the turret. And so that's why it actually, they were so tanky, it felt like, is they didn't even take damage from the thing they were diving. Unlucky for Ninja, but that's how it happened. And TSM now looking beautiful. Up 4 turrets.
All right, Team Envy, now it's time to tell everybody, let's farm for late. We have Anivia, we'll try and wave clear. Everybody bunker down inside of our secondary turrets and try and hold out. Actually, Seraph is going pretty aggressive on Hanser down there, but look at that trade. We didn't get to see it, but Hanser got a good, maybe a fifth of Seraph's life without taking any damage here due to the shield and dodge zone.
And Seraph's only down 400 gold. He's equal level, basically tied in resources. Of course, yes, the farm is on one side, the turret kills on the other. It's close to equal gold. And Seraph's actually not getting that much done into Hanser. You can see Hanser putting up the shield almost in time. That time he didn't block it on that activation, but
yeah,
Hanser
does know that he doesn't need to make anything happen in that 1 versus 1 though. He's just waiting for the 4-man squad of TSM to collect their extra money out of the secondary turrets with the siege, 4-man siege. They are able to do that, and Hanser just bides his time, staying high health, not getting any risky engage down there with Seraph. Seraph also, because Hanser's not trying anything, is able to lifesteal back up with the Ravenous, so both of them just kind of trading minion waves at the moment. Seraph does have to back off though, because no defensive vision, and TSM stopped showing their 4-man squad in the siege.
Exactly, the mid lane siege was completed, so beware, enemy TSM members are afoot. They might come for you. So now 7, I'll make that, 7,500, the gold lead for TSM, double Infernal Drake. Next one's gonna be Cloud. Extra speed to get around the map, and yeah, I guess the Envy plan is farm for late, as you said. They've just got to hope nothing happens for a while, and that seems very unlikely. TSM, one of the most aggressive, most punishing teams in North America.
Especially since they can actually do Baron quite quickly with this TSM squad. Yeah. So you have to be worried about that. You want to hide behind your turrets and farm for late and just clear minion waves, but Baron would add so much, because TSM already have Caitlyn and Malzahar, plus Nidalee Poke coming through on the siege. If the minions are also buffed up by Baron, the siege is very, very threatening, to say the least.
And we'll see if that's going to be the case right here, because TSM going to keep trying to control the ward vision. Right now, though, Envy have managed to sneak a ward in and around the Baron pit, so it will be the quick Cloud Drake pickup. TSM don't need to lose any time in grabbing that one. Quick Rift Scuttle pickup, because why not? And now onto the Cloud Drake. Shouldn't be too hard.
Yeah. I mean, out of combat move speed can also help you dodge the Ash Arrow, which is one of the few ways that Envy do have of getting back in the game with an Ash Arrow pick and trying to kill someone quickly.
Yeah. Kobe, didn't you get to the memo? We shouldn't talk about Cloud Drake anymore.
No, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you're right. Kobe, go for it.
You're the one who does it all the time.
Good thing it's not me and Jat. You're allowed to talk about Cloud Drake. The officios over in the audience groaning. Sad that we're giving it the respect it deserves. All right, Hanser, Seraph, separated by a wall. Apparently a very noise-canceling wall. They couldn't tell that was going on, really. But now Seraph losing a lot of health. Look at the damage Hanser actually has. And it's time now for the duel to work. He's trying to get the damage output. Can't get the last one, which means no heal comes through for Seraph.
Yeah, I like this 1 versus 1 cam. Both of them are just like, yeah, walk away. Okay,
yeah.
I don't really care. Just walk away, guys.
Dispassionately, like, yeah, you don't have the damage.
Just checking in, because Seraph there, he didn't want to chase because he was low health, and Hanser didn't want to let him get the last vital, so both agree in action. Plus, as we said, Hanser doesn't really have to do anything in that 1 versus 1.
Right.
He's just trying to hold that pressure, has to stand united. TSM have full control of this map. It's almost insane. Ever since like 6 minutes, they've had wards
Pretty
on
much.
both sides of the Envy jungle, and they've kept those wards up for the entire game.
Yeah, great play by Svensker and the rest of TSM as they keep moving forward. 4-0-4 on the Nidalee. Perfect score for him. Kept the ward control up. Yerxa gets the passive poked off. And Envy hoping to defend top lane tier 2. Next strike up is going to be Mountain in about 5 minutes time. Seraph tries to get control back at the bottom lane, but he's really not building a minion lead any more than he was before. Hanser's been able to hold up to him quite nicely, and Shen's going to show up to a fight faster than Fiora will.
That feel when you're TSM and you've scanned the enemy jungle so many times there are no more wards to clear.
Yeah.
You just keep wasting your scanners. Like, have they been back out here? No, okay. Just checking.
The combined
Still no vision. Here we go
Ninja.
though. They ghost.
Running away, he's gonna flash, nice wall. Kalen's gonna hit him a little bit, but he's gonna get himself out. Oh, you are too risky with that one. Caught with another grass, picked off. Bjergsen using the Q to give himself vision to land the R. That is mechanical knowledge of your champion. Beautifully done.
Wasn't even the Malefic Visions.
Q to give vision for the R. That was awesome. Bjergsen is good at Malzahar. I'm pretty sure there was no ward. That was just that play. Kobe, you were mentioning number of wards killed. There are combined 4 wards spotted by the 3 sweepers of TSM.
All right, well, there's one more ward killed inside the Baron Pit as they demolish it. I don't know if there will be a Miracle Steal. Proxen could go try and suicide.
He's the coach. Miracle couldn't steal it. Proxen's gonna hope. C3 doesn't help him that one. Ooh, Lod barely gets away from the Javelin. And okay, Proxen, it's on you. He is unstoppable during the ultimate, and there's no Mal's ulti. The silence comes in. He's not gonna get it in time. Nicely taken up by Svenskeren. Gets the takedown, gets the kill on Proxen as well. TSM now up 10,000.
Yep, and now they do have that Baron to crack the siege and get through the inhibitor line. We will see how big this Baron power play is for TSM, because it's time for the ultimate defense here for Envy as they try and hold off. Let's check in Doublelift. Yeah, Doublelift does have the 3 items now too. He's got Rapid Fire Cannon, Infinity Edge, plus the Hurricane. So he's ready to roll. And there it is, like we talked about already. Easy corridor there to line up the wall. Good guess there from Bjergsen. And Ninja, not so stealthy.
Not so stealthy, sadly. 0, 4, and 0. He's got Seraph around. Oh, but a blue trinket spots him. Uh-oh. Time to run, Envy. Seraph takes the wrong route out. He's going to get caught up there. Is a dead Fiora, and here comes the rest of the chase. TSM are in. Ninja going to get caught up. There's another sniper. There's the kill picked up. Hansser getting one for himself. Another takedown under the turret means 3 dead already. TSM have no cares in the world. 13-2. Envy, honestly, just shy of a perfect game. 2 champion kills, all that separated them from this one. And TSM gonna probably walk this one into the base. Inhibitor's going down.
I mean, they said, hey, maybe that one loss will help TSM refocus. They look like they've refocused fairly quickly after last night. And game number 1, according to plan.
This game looked about as clean as their first game over Phoenix 1. You always have the chance of a comeback, but Proxen goes down. The Nexus turret's gone as well, and a 27 swift minute victory. Once again, the golden Nidalee in the fountain as TSM takes game 1.
Yes, 7-0-5 for that golden Nidalee, Svenskeren. Getting solo kills in the enemy jungle. Oh, happy day, I found a low health Hecarim. From that point on, leaving wards behind on both sides of the jungle, plus TSM with that same strategy we talked about of pushing up their lanes and completely taking over the enemy jungle. Pretty much ultimate control, actually, this game from very early on.
Totally agree, and Svenskeren playing very well, being one of the big keys of that one. Anytime he did gank, it seemed to turn into success. From the matchups, as far as 1-on-1s and 2-on-2s were okay. Ninja was up small amounts of CS. Sarah was actually winning his lane most of this game. Doublelift and Biofrost, hey, they won their lane. Some of that was the early Flash Force, the early gank. So yeah, good chase by Karen. Also that all those things adding up, and that's just many little mistakes and right things in TSM's favor. They're able to put them together for them. Yeah, putting together is the big part of it, getting the cash in on that Flash Force. Great for TSM and their jungler included, but now for more on that, please, but instead of back over to Dash and Stress and Cross.
I got to interrupt you real quick just because we're welcoming our viewers from NALCS 2. 27-minute victory by TSM over Envy in the first game of their series. We will dive into that post-game analysis after we finish out discussing Team Liquid's victory over Energy. Right now, we're just discussing Champion Select and kind of that mid-lane pinch and the response to Vladimir.
Yeah, well, we can do a little bit of a blender here.
That's true.
Both teams had a very similar composition with the Hecarim Ashe Karma, but one team ran it much better because that's a comp that has a lot of dive-in tools with the Hecarim, the Ashe, the Karma shields help it really well. So you want to combo it with more divers. What do? You go with the Vlad, you go with the Aurelia. It makes a really nice combination of champions to get into a backline, and they did just
right. If we are to contrast that against what Envy's comp they put together, the difference here is you have an Anivia and a Fiora, 2 people that are not capable of going past the front line necessarily. They can't follow that Hecarim to where he wants to go. Much tougher for them to create fights than it was for Team Liquid to do so. But now continuing on the line of this Team Liquid Energy game, as we mentioned, pretty even through the early game. We did see a bit of a turret dive, somewhat botched early in the game, but still Team Liquid being able to stay in control for some point. But the item breakpoints around those Trinity forces, both in the top lane and in the jungle, really was what helped them break open the game on top of Fabi Arrow. So specifically, 12:30 in the mid lane, 2 for 0 for Team Liquid. This is the first real point in which they do grab an advantage.
This is the arrow from downtown. The American snipers come in, and immediately Phoenix has to blow his pool. There's no more stun anymore, and right on the edge, the arrow gets hit, and somehow all of TL is right here in the area. The TP comes in, and while Kiwi does flash away from the Hecarim ultimate, they're fine with blowing more summoners to commit for this kill because that's just so much pressure into the mid lane. As soon as that happens, Energy has to respond, send everybody mid lane. You lose pressure on the side lanes.
Roll over.
Well, they said that they struggled with the meta, and immediately they pick up. Well, you could not get more meta than what they went for. So the order was great, the pick composition, the way they utilized it, and the icing on the cake was the fact that they got standard lanes.
Yes.
And Envy, I don't know, they keep digging themselves into these holes. They like the view from below because they keep picking these all losing lanes with a losing jungler. And you don't lane swap. What do you think's gonna happen? Well, this exactly
gonna happen.
Yeah,
This is what's gonna happen.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You get ganks all around from TSM. They're able to get such a big lead in the early game. Sven also gets to kill the jungler solo because this is how the matchup goes. Hecarim cannot keep up with Nidalee whatsoever if you don't get a lane swap. So as soon as this kill happens, you know that the game's going to just be all over.
And this is where you see the comparison to the other game. This is the feast or famine of Hecarim. Already you're kind of splitting focus perhaps with Fiora because somebody has to get resources and end up carrying.
They're playing around a special first pick, if they're playing around denying. Shen gonna go off the table after seeing that Gangplank ban. Not a huge surprise, honestly.
Yep, definitely don't want to let Hanser have that because that was a champion. He was happy to play defensively, happy to give up some CS. Not gonna go down in the 1 versus 1. Didn't die to the ganks either. Was able to give up CS instead of dying for those, and just able to come join the team fights and come join the other side of the map with the ultimates. So take a couple of those right off of the field. Malzahar, they don't want to let that get first picked.
Yeah.
The Sivir also, to me, is such a high priority right now just because it gives you so much power in the late game, and it's not even that easy to punish her in the early game.
I agree.
So, I mean, the wave clear and the utility from the ultimate are pretty much always there. So, might find her face on the bans again, but another jungler focus here. Rek'Sai, once again, off the board as Envy banned that one.
We expect to see her face in Champ Select somewhere. The question is, does TSM ban it here, or do they give it over for the potential first pick to Lod? And it is going to be the ban. Lod will not get to play this champion. I'll find something else to do. And now it's time for Envy to make the first pick. And looking at champions left on the table, Vladimir was one of them. And that gets grabbed right away.
Yep, definitely one of the most banned champions against him as well. Good in many compositions. I'm really curious to see what the summoners will be for him, to see if it is the ghost for the extra team fighting. But as we highlighted last time, and as we usually highlight in Envy games, Karma is such a high priority for them. TSM actually going to steal that one away for Bjergsen as they double lock the other support, so it's not even a flex pick. Just straight up, we're going to go mid lane Karma into the Vladimir.
Okay, interesting. So it does give
Possible
TSM the chance.
Vladimir.
Yeah, you're right. It could be either way. We'll see what it ends up being here for themselves. And I actually like looking at Trundle here because you can use it as a semi-flex. We know the matchup's fine into Braum, but also it's a solid 1v1 champion for Seraph to play and should have good matches and almost everything that Hanser could pick into it. So that gets locked in. Gragas, I think, makes plenty of sense as well.
Well, yeah, so you say, well, actually, yeah, it is the reworked Rise now, right? We are on 14. So I was going to say, there's a couple matchups in the top lane that could have used Trundle, but no.
You played enough of reworked Rise to want to bring him out.
Yeah,
if he's even
exactly.
good enough.
A lot of people still up in the air on that one. I definitely lean towards the side of he's weaker now. I just don't know how much weaker. I haven't seen anyone use the ultimate very well yet in just random rankings.
Right,
But these are obviously much higher skill players, and maybe they've been able to put in work early.
I ran into one where I thought it was an Echo W for a second, so I waited for a second. I was like, oh, that's Rise. Oh crap, and I was already dead because I was playing Ashe. So I've misplayed into an enemy Rise ulti before, but yeah, I don't think we're going to see him this week, although I do think the champion's probably playable, just needs the practice, and that hasn't happened yet for these teams with pretty tight practice schedules. We're already adapting to 6-14 to the rest of their changes. Nidalee Kaling going to be grabbed up, so TSM really haven't changed much with the recipe. They didn't get to play Malzahar, but they put Karma in instead.
Yeah.
And they won't get to play Shen.
Once again, I'm really curious why Proxen is kind of giving up on his Nidalee. I thought that he was one of the better Nidalees that we've seen in North America, and Gragas also has the same difficulties in dealing with that champion as far as getting invaded upon as Hecarim did. Maybe TSM do move in to get theirs.
All right, Lod's going to be okay. He'll see the ward come down. I don't think he's going to get dived. Can he kill it? Nope, didn't do it in time. Could have theoretically killed that ward, though, with the W attack speed.
Yeah, plus, didn't have to give up his position. They knew that he's on the other side of the ward now. He is going to recall anyway and try and fake them out a little bit, but... So TSM actually, now, they can't even assume if they don't see Lod that he is on the other side because they know that he was already past it.
Yeah. We'll see what they end up doing. TSM going to keep their dual lane towards the bot side, actually. They're going to make a blind guess that they're going to head off their opponents. That's not going to be the case. Looks like they're going to go for... Oh, this is nice. TSM going to probably take an early red buff. Looks like they'll help Nidalee get it, though, so it's not going to be like a double camp start.
Yeah, it's just a little bit awkward because they're starting on the opposite one than normal, but probably should not be a triple buff if Envy just move up in the standard quadrant up there and actually realize that they need to split the map in a regular lane swap split.
But Envy have actually killed camps faster. Proxy's done with 2 camps, whereas Svenskern's still in the middle of his second, so there's a small lead right now for the Gragas in this race. He's got just a stronger leash overall. Hanser was able to grab the 3 minions of XP in the top lane. Hakuho did not, Seraph did not. He was leashing the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, so not only did the jungler and top laner kill 2 camps, but the duo lane also killed a camp. That's why they cleared out the entire blue quadrant so quickly.
Oh, that's what it was.
So yeah, so Envy a little bit ahead just as far as jungle monsters, but you can see that Svenskeren did move up into the greedy side here. He went red quadrant to red quadrant to take away 1 extra camp from Proxen. And now he's actually trying to fight him on the weak side.
Ooh, pushing around Svenskeren, gets hunted once again, and Nidalee's going to get away pretty cleanly, but pushed out of that side of the jungle he wanted to take camps from.
Yeah, Nidalee should just be just fine, though.
Got to point something that happened off camera. Seraph lost his flash. He actually dropped turret aggro as part of the lane swap game. So Seraph flashed out of turret aggro, I believe was what happened, but he's now missing that summoner. He's going to hope he doesn't face any opponents for a while.
Yeah, that is actually pretty dangerous for a top laner. So, you know, sometimes for TSM, they're probably not watching that lane since that's the lane swap lane they're giving up and trading the turret in.
They probably have no idea.
So they might not even know that Seraph doesn't have that. So Seraph just kind of bluff that he does, and maybe TSM won't try and take advantage because low probability that TSM actually know.
Meanwhile, of course, Hanser was known to have teleported to the bot side, so there is a TP disadvantage, which may or may not matter later on. Seraph going to be pretty safe as he holds the top lane freeze for now, and we'll see what happens afterwards. Envy's dual lane headed to the bot side, no surprise there. Kog'Maw 22CS has a dagger and a Cole. Pretty sizable, pretty nice actually recall for him.
I think the biggest difference is that Envy plays these lane swaps a lot differently than most North American LCS teams. As you can see, you mentioned when the teleport was used by Hanser, most North American LCS teams try and get their top laners as much experience and gold as possible, just scraping together a couple of extra, minions dying in range, and then using the teleport early as Hanser did, so that if they do meet up, any sort of small advantage there is earned. And Hanser does have a small advantage over Seraph because Seraph held on to the teleport and just did the walkover strategy that Envy have been using. Now, not every game Envy have been able to make that teleport discrepancy count. So sometimes the enemies just get away with a little bit of a top laner lead. But sometimes Envy try and use Seraph's teleport really early on. And he is a Maokai, so you do have a very easy point-click snare.
And it's worth keeping in mind that all the XP that Hanser had gained by leeching in that one lane, Lod gained by killing a Gromp that TSM dual lane was leashing. So, the same total XP was actually gained by both teams, just in different places in a way. And we'll see if it comes back to hurt Seraph much, if at all, as round 2 the lane swap comes in and the standard 3v0 continues. As the players are facing off in the mid lane and the junglers are farming their camps and the other laners fight turrets. Ninja getting low on health, running away. Thunderlord's triggers, gets hit again, and dodges a chair.
chairs and spears, everything's coming at his
Ooh,
face.
ooh.
Oh my,
That was
so
nearly
close.
lethal damage right there. Ninja lives on roughly 1 health and gets away with it, but this is not a good matchup right now for Ninja. Bjergsen is heavily winning this one.
Yeah, you could say that again. Ninja's definitely
Bjergsen's
got
heavily
to
winning this one.
keep his...
Never got to do that before. That feels like a sitcom line, and I finally got to do it.
A little cheesy, but I wasn't expecting it, so you got to chuckle out of it.
I'm glad, thank you.
Regardless, though, you can actually see the pings on the pink ward that TSM left. Usually teams will leave.
There, Ninja lives on roughly 1 health and gets away with it, but this is not a good matchup right now for Ninja. Bjergsen is heavily winning this one.
Yeah, you could say that again. Ninja's definitely
Bjergsen's
got
heavily
to
winning this one.
keep his...
Never got to do that before. That feels like a sitcom line, and I finally got to do it.
A little cheesy, but I wasn't expecting it, so you got to chuckle out of it.
I'm glad, thank you.
Regardless, though, you can actually see the pings on the pink ward that TSM left. Usually teams will leave trinket wards deep in the lane, the extended lane right there, but pink ward actually dropped off in that long lane for TSM, so they do have extra deep vision that's going to stay there a long time. Rarely do teams walk up through that ward, and so Scaren's already using extra vision here to invade on this side, just trying to poke around. There are way more members as Envy have swapped this to their strong side, duo lane going up here. But Scaren's still trying to poke around, see if he could fish for any steal on the Wolf camp. Able to get a little bit away, but Proxen very happy that he's keeping up here on the Gragas.
Yeah, and honestly, gold-wise, he's identical to Svenskeren. Sven himself has more XP. He leached some from mid when he went for some of the earlier pressure, so he's level 6 to 5, but gold-wise, they're the same.
Yeah. I think the main thing is that TSM, though, Svenskeren, he can go down to this red quadrant. Because remember, this is the lane swap where strong side for Envy, or for TSM, is on the bottom. Right now, he's getting ganked on top, though, for Seraph.
And it's through a huge minion wave. Seraph was not able to fight back.
Yep, too many minions, but anyways, I'll return to the jungle point because TSM, while it looks like Svenskeren was clearing his own side of the jungle, he's actually clearing the lane swap side that's strong for Envy, and now he's moving into the red quadrant, so there are 3 camps extra for him to pick up, and he can pull ahead of Proxen, but he's actually standing on a ward right now, wasting some time. Oh, I think he did pass through it because he walked this pathway to get down there.
The whole time.
So they know he's there. They just couldn't continue to see his position.
This would be a hard dive to make work, honestly. Level 5, Kog'Maw gets away from the javelin. That could be enough, but now Bjergsen's here. The dive out of the turret, and Lod will get picked off. A well-executed dive. Now, how much more can they get? Seraph is in. Can he find a route? No, it's actually the minions that have aggro. Body slam flash gets blocked, and Proxen can't get in. That's 3-0 for TSM. Maybe it's going to be Forrest Seraph running for his life. Burden gets cut down for Timber. 4-0 TSM.
That mid lane karma shield from Bjergsen. Double left also with the flash heal to barely get out of range and stay alive. Heartbreaker for Proxen, heartbreaker for Envy, and we actually have the observers chiming in that in the path, Svenskeren was able to sneak just barely into that brush as well, so the ward didn't see him path to that position or stand there, and TSM just barely able to get everyone in position and have the surprise, the initiative on that dive, able to pull it off. A second there either way, and it does turn out a little bit differently with Envy getting something back, but with TSM sneaking in through the fog of war, a clean dive, no kills given over back to Envy as they move in with all 5 members. Teleport comes through, roam from mid lane as well. Double F is tanking and does get hit by the Kog'Maw passive, but flashes to the other side. Body slam can't get the distance.
I'm not even sure he landed it.
No, yeah, he couldn't get the distance there as tried to flash in for it. Needs to eat a couple more cheeseburgers, gain some more hitbox width on his body. But Double F stays alive. And no problem there for TSM. First early aggressive, that's the kind of the risky move for TSM that they take in the early game. Now all their consecutive invades are going to be a lot, it's going to be a lot less risky because they have this gold lead to work with. They got so much out of that. Extra turret lead, kills on everybody but the support, so that went pretty much perfectly for them.
Well, this looks pretty good for TSM. Everyone's got the same scoreline basically, and Envy running out of options about as fast as they did in the first game.
Yeah, I mean, with Hanser freezing up top, they pretty much can only go for the Rift Herald, as the Drake was taken by TSM afterwards as well. And Rift Herald is extremely strong now. It takes a long time to take. Ninja actually the one taking a beating here.
Rooted, stunned, running low on health, but he's going to get the empowered Q and heal back up okay against Biofrost. Thanks, buddy. All right, they're going to be okay, but yeah, TSM, 3,500 gold lead already. The jungle matchup didn't seem to mean too much. It was the fact that they pushed in the bot lane, went for the dive, and Svenskar himself was able to sneak in really nicely. Now double if with a trophy in front of him. He's had one of those before.
They know he has no summoners, so he's pretty screwed here.
Into the explosive cast. Nets away a little bit. Can they give the kill over? They're not even going to get the assist to him. Lod with no extra money.
I mean, it is a small amount considering the big play that TSM just made on the bottom side, so they're not too worried about that mistake. However, TSM as a team are always looking at the one little thing to improve on. Even if they win the game, that is something that has happened in both games in this series.
Yeah.
To double lift, and they will definitely take note of that for later. Not too big of an issue for this particular game, as they got such a giant lead previously.
Yeah,
but
probably doesn't lose in the series by any means. But
definitely
something to iron out. If that game weren't 4-0 and you made that play, well, now you're losing the game, and yeah, definitely an issue you can look at either way. Here we go, Rift Herald, clean pickup. Hanser grabs that. And it's gonna make his matchup even easier. Already up 20 CS and 2 levels. Yeah, you're like chiming two, like yes, yes, he's up quite a lot, and he'll probably continue to do so.
Yeah, that gets very rough for Maokai, as early Trinity Force for Hanser will mean painful things, not only for Lod as he tries to stay safe in the backside, but even in the one-on-one. Maokai hard to get tanky enough if Memoriez already got Glimpse of the Void and the 2-level lead plus item lead on him.
Right, I mean, Seraph could try to tank up, but Hanser does true damage, and, you know, it's super effective against damage reduction. I feel like he'll do pretty well for himself on this one. 30 minions now, the advantage almost. And
There was a stupid Pokemon joke within that super effective line that you had, but I'm not going for it.
That was the point.
You're baiting me with it. I'm not going for it.
His name is Hanser.
Pokemon jokes are flavor of the week.
Yeah.
Staying out of it.
Steel type versus plant type. Here we go. Nice jump over the trophy, and Svenskar is going to be okay. Looking for the take on this red buff, and Nidalee trying to chomp down. Gets it. Nicely done, Svenskar. Now it's on a Proxen.
Oh.
A bunch of projectiles all trailing behind him. This time he gets away.
I turned into Mario there for a second. Proxen's able to get out of door number 2 here. Has Hanser in it, though. What's he going to do? 2 versus 1.
He's going to try to kill Proxen. Flash the chase. One more kill. ER auto crow. He's not going to get him quite yet. Slowed down by Seraph. Proxen, be careful. If Q comes up, he's dead. Q's up. Q's up. Proxen would die to him.
Yeah, Proxen's baiting. He's staying just outside of Q range, though.
3 summoners burned for 1. They do get the kill on a Hanser, though. Ninja takes part, gets the kill. A couple small pieces coming in now. Ninja forced to run away from Bjergsen. Doesn't get rooted up. Nice blue buff takeaway by Svenskar.
These small little mistakes from TSM that we talk about stacking up. These are that's another note on the chalkboard for post-game. As Hanser did have vision of both people and stayed in the bush a little bit longer, able to fight. He did get that, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Agaho takes a javelin but walks away, and the Wit's End is done now for Lod on this Kog'Maw. So the first spike is in. Probably going to go Hurricane second. That's more typical. Biofrost blocks some of the damage, walks in for a slow and a Ninja.
All right, TSM, they've had enough of their straggling kills.
Oh, Ninja! Turns into a pool of blood. He's going to be okay for now.
Yeah, they've had enough of these small little mistakes stacking up. They don't want to give away any more. So back to serious game plan here. Siege up, have Hanser. He's got his Trinity Force. He's got Glimpse of the Void. Oh, actually, he's joining mid. They might just try and fight this mid turret as it's about to go.
Oh! Whoops!
There's another pool of blood there, Freak.
Yeah, he thought he had the heal from Hemoplague coming in, but then took a bunch of poke right at the end and misjudged his durability. That is a sad death.
Whoops-a-daisy.
Yep.
Anyways, TSM very happy to come away with that kill. They can return for the turret later. because they have Caitlyn for the traps you lay down during your siege, long range auto, also easy to hit. Then they have the poke coming in, Karma and Nidalee, and Braum can even protect your minion wave. So this is such a great siege, 4-man squad, and nothing will change with that plan as far as how they want to finish out the game. Monster does have his Trinity Force, as we mentioned, so he's fine in the 1 versus 1 up there. Will gain pressure there as well. And they stack up with Drake number 2.
Beautiful stuff right now. TSM in control. Not quite as clean as their first game of the series, but still sizably ahead right now as they've gotten Cloud and Mountain Drakes. They've got the rotation ones, basically. Get to the turret, kill it fast. Get the next one.
Get to the Baron. Kill that fast.
Kill that fast, exactly. Ocean Drake. Make sure they have full resource while killing the Baron fast. All good things. And it's an uphill battle right now for Envy, who honestly just have not had many good points to talk about. Their 2 kills, like their 2 turrets this game were because of lane swaps. Their 2 champion kills this game were capitalizing well on TSM overextensions, but it's not been a lead they've manufactured. It's been Envy receiving, oh, hey, he's out of position. I guess that's free then.
Yeah, and it's not like they didn't try. Like, they had a defensive ward on their bottom lane before the TSM dive. And that TSM bottom lane play is where they got this big early game advantage that they've been milking ever since. And it was just a little bit out of line. Didn't quite see the TSM rotation as TSM in the proactive team able to create the advantage themselves.
Oh, explosive cast does nothing to Bjergsen, just stuck inside the wall anyway. They can't get the pick off. It doesn't land in a powered Q or anything anyway, and mid lane turret does go down. Good siege by TSM. Sad for them, though. The Proxim's cast did not deliver them Bjergsen.
That's where it has to come from for Envy, because Seraph is still, honestly, a little bit squishy. I mean, he's got the Sunfire Cape, but keep checking in. He's not only 2 levels down on Haunter, he's even 2 levels down on the enemy AD carry. Yeah. Like, Seraph overall is a low level in this game.
He's the 3rd lowest. He's only ahead of the 2 supports. That is it. Everyone is higher than him.
We mentioned in Champion Select, it looks like they're going to have this beefy front line, but the tank champions on the front line have been starved a little bit, so they're not exactly the meat shields that you want.
No, they're not. So it's going to be a long road ahead for Envy to get a beefy front line. Problem is, TSM are not one to give teams a lot of room to breathe. And it might feel very claustrophobic quickly for Envy.
Well, Haunter, I actually want to see him go for another 2-on-1, because these are lower levels.
Right.
So maybe you can burst out the Kog'Maw before, I mean, Chunda's got exhaust and they have heals, so you're not going to be able to do it. But I'd like to see him try.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Do it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Can he stop one? Oh, no, he did!
Oh, no! Hakuho left him! Yep. Unlucky. Seraph, goodbye. Gets taken down to the back line, goes Ninja, but he's about to get stunned. One attack will do it. Doesn't quite get hit by that one. Heals up with the minions, but 2 for 0. Bot lane turret already almost dead.
Ah, well, that is a low morale point for Envy. Whenever you lose fights on opposite sides of the map at the same time, very rough to come back from. Haunter going to get the 3 push on top side now. The 4-man poke siege squad here from TSM still very much operational and takes down the inhibitor turret.
Ninja could be dying soon as well. Nearly gets stunned up. Svensker wants the auto attack. Won't quite get it. Here comes the dive into Proxima. Look out. There's a lot of damage from Kog'Maw. Haunter's running out of health. Gets picked off by Ninja. Finally something back in for Envy. That Kog'Maw artillery is scary. Ninja forced a flash away, though.
So is Double Lift. And let's see. Let me check in if he has enough money for Infinity Edge. Yep.
Yeah,
so he's going to have the crit multipliers coming through on Caitlyn as well. Those are going to get even more scary. He only had a second. Yeah, see, he backed off there thinking that Hakuho was going to stop. But Hakuho completes the recall, and Laud left out to dry.
It's a nice layer of CC. No chance for Seraph to flash away. We go back into this one as we see Svensker peacefully recalling in a brush.
Job well done for him so far. Feeling pretty nice about the Nidalee this time around, but
we have Bjergsen going for the supportive build again. So this is something that we've seen many, I would say most mid lane Karmas do. It's Athene's into Ardent Sensor and just trying to keep his team healthy.
And he still has respectable poke. We see it come out still from the mid lane Karma, just with the levels that you have. Is the highest level in the game? Yeah, tied for.
And he's actually maxed Q first, so
as well. So
he is trying to kill minions.
Yeah, the damage is still respectable from the supportive build of Karma, and then the shields for saving your AD carry. Once you get to the late game here with the Caitlyn really starting to ramp up. Next crit item for Double Lift will mean very, very threatening from the back line. And the Randuin's is still very far off for Seraph. So Double Lift can really start to melt through that line as well. Very difficult to get past the traps, and Envy, again, have that same...
Yeah, their life is hard. The one good thing is they've gotten their first power spike, though. The Hurricane, the first major, I would say, power spike. The Hurricane's now done for Laud. So the Kog'Maw is about as online as he's going to be in the mid game. It'll probably be Rageblade second, or sorry, third is what I've been seeing from Kog'Maw, but that's almost 3,000 gold away. So that'll be a long road, and TSM might just win before that even happens.
Yeah, considering Hanser is pretty scary on this Aurelia at the moment too. Going to be hard to peel him, and he's, what was it, 3 or 4 shots on Laud last time he was able to kill him. I think it was 3 if you don't count each ult activation as a shot.
There's actually a great quote from Memoriez about this. He says, he's like, I figured out how to deduce whether Aurelia can kill you if she dives you or not. And the answer is yes. The answer is yes, she can kill you if she dives you. And I took that one with me, and it served me ever since. The Hanser, yes, can't kill
old AD carry idioms.
Aurelia can, in fact, kill Laud at all points in time. Be afraid, Kog'Maw's everywhere. Ninja trying to get control of her mid lane, and Envy looking to sweep up around Baron. One ideal team fight can work. I mean, they can sap the stats from the tank by using Hakuho, and you know, he can try to be tanky enough alongside Seraph. If Laud is, for some reason, untouched, he can kill everyone.
Well,
they're going to try. They're going to try to burn down Baron. TP is down from Hanser, and he's stuck in the bot lane.
He's not stuck there. He's walking up.
Gonna kill an inhibitor.
I mean, Baron's going to do so much work right now.
Seraph's so low already.
Run for your lives, Envy, run!
Oh no, they're already running out of health. They're getting sniped out. The 4v5 wasn't even close. It's Envy just running out of HP. Svenskeren baiting around on the side. Here comes Bjergsen on the other one. The bottom inhibitor, by the way, already going to die. There's really no chance for Envy on this one. Losing more of their base. The Baron bait did not pay off. They were able to walk away with their lives, but they weren't able to walk away with much more than that. Their dignity already in shambles.
Inhibitor stuck to the ground.
Oh, do it, do it. Oh, he missed the pounce. It wasn't in range.
I mean, yeah, you're not in range for the extendo pounce.
Yeah. Instead of a pounce, it's a pound. 16 ounces. That's okay. Mid lane under fire. And here comes the next minion wave. TSM might knock it down on this one.
Yeah, notice something small that Bjergsen is doing is speed boost shielding the first minion so it gets in there quicker and they can start hitting the turret. Here goes the engage from Envy.
Seraph flashes out from his own root target. Ninja dives in to try to be disruptive, and it's up to Laud to deal all the damage. They delivered an Hanser, and now Double's caught out. The body slam lands, and Laud is doing the damage. Envy gets a 2 for 0.
And Baron is up as well. Can Envy make this comeback work?
They need another Fortum CC for Bjergsen. They won't quite get it.
Oh. Okay, Svenskeren might have to go back to base here. I mean, Envy are so desperate right now because they have nothing going for them besides this huge play right now. They have to go for this Baron.
They've got enough tanks. They can kill it. The question is, can they be stopped by TSM?
Or can Sven steal it? That would be such a heartbreaker for Envy. Making an epic comeback right now. Uh-oh!
Laud could die. Laud is dead. That's already one picked up. Javelin lands, and TSM are in the business of delaying and messing with Envy. They've actually got to peel off the Baron. A heartbreaker. The kill, and now the teleport flank is in for Hanser. Picks up the support. Ninja's going to be in his sights as well. That's Bjergsen getting another one. Seraph will drop on top of that one. 3 more picked up. It's only Proxen alive, and, well, he's got nowhere to go.
Live and tell the tale of your team.
There's the snipes. He's dead. He's gone. That's an ace. TSM, no one's going to stop them. Baron will go to the red team, and this looks like an ever increasingly likely 2-0.
Yeah, so the thing is with that, whenever you make a comeback like that, you feel like you're so desperate because there's very few windows to get back into the game.
Right.
And you just want to jump at the first one that comes. While it is probably smarter to not take the risk and, you know, just play it safe and say, okay, now we're going to have to make another big play to come back into this game, most people are going to fall in that trap where, all right, we need to make the Baron now to actually complete this comeback. So they try for it. It's just TSM are so far ahead at this point. They are still even able to collapse. Svenskeren went and got some extra health off of jungle camps and then just returned. So he didn't have to go all the way back to base. And then they delay long enough for Haunter's revive timer to come back up and just teleport in.
Yep.
But I still respect it from Envy.
Right.
Because that's the good call where you got to rally around something.
I mean, that's the problem, right? Is there's so few windows. Envy looked for it. Sadly, it was Windows 8. And so, wasn't the one for them. TSM took him out. Woo! Thank you, crowd, for enjoying that one. Here we go, though. TSM looking to make it that 2-0, though. Top lane 2-2 is gone. Bottom hit will respawn soon-ish, and right now it's just flooding farm into Lod's Kog'Maw, but he's still not at Rageblade just yet. Envy's going to hope for an even more fortunate fight than the last one. Top inhibitor turret still getting whittled down. Double Up takes it out. No threat on him. Damage on a Ninja. The red buff in means that Vladimir is heavily low on health now. Inhibitor itself under fire. Oh, by the way, Hans is still pushing the mid lane, so it's going to be triple inhib for TSM. Still wearing the Baron buff for over a minute and a half. And this could be the road to victory now. TSM hoping to pretend that the Phoenix 1 match never even happened, make it another 2-0 to add to the list of teams they've completely bodied so far this split. And here we go.
Baron empowered super minions gonna be the final hit on the last turret here.
And here comes the flank, here comes the dive. Braum ulti up and a Ninja. Here's the damage output from Lod, killing what he can, and he picks up one already. He's picked up a second. They're maybe turning it back around. Haunter's got nowhere to go. Lod's kiting it out, but be careful. Even with only 3, TSM are strong enough to win a fight. Envy still have to be careful. The poke comes in. Haunter, 1,000 HP left. Damage back and forth, Ninja healing back up. Minions flooding forward. Looks like Ninja will stay alive. Javelin won't do much, and yet again, Envy able to withstand it. They have no pressure on the map. Triple inhib means a lot of map pressure, but it means a lot of farm and a lot of XP going back towards Envy.
Man, now you're kicking yourself a little bit more for taking that risk on the Baron after the first one team fight, because they actually come up with another one here.
Yeah. Imagine if you didn't give him 5 kills in Baron, maybe this fight would be your equal. Or closer.
Regardless, though, one step back in the road here for Envy. Now it's all time to just clear out minions as quickly as possible.
And it's going to be Rageblade for a lot.
Yeah, they can get a lot of gold from all the minions, but TSM should just head right back to the base while there are 3 lines of super minions all bumping each other up and try and finish the game off. Here we go, though, Envy. They keep Lod alive. He's got 1 stack of Braum Passive left on him, 200 health through his name, but he's still firing away, and he was able to fend off TSM for a little while. Here they come, though, for round number 2.
Rageblade getting picked up right now, so this is the last item Lod probably gets to buy this game, unless they can somehow win it. TSM hoping to make the push in back towards the bot lane inhibitor. Only 1 Nexus turret alive, poking back and forth, proxing down at 2,000 health. More damage on the Seraph, a Cherry Ninja. Wave cleared away, and this inhibitor at half health. More poke going back and forth. Fire Hurricane Barrage gonna come in. The Flash engage Ninja wants in. Low health double lift, and the ulti from Biofrost misses. They bought some time, and Seraph walks away cleanly also. Inhibitor is up, and minions are flooding in on the other side of the map. It's gonna be Envy forced to retreat from this. I think they have to give the inhib to keep the Nexus alive.
Yeah, good job by TSM in disengaging there, not overextending again. They know they have the minions to their advantage.
And now they've got positioning as well, so here comes the push on in. Lod needs his W to be back up. He's the one doing the damage in the team fights. But TSM once again out of minions. New wave coming in the top side.
Envy can fight TSM, but they can't fight TSM and 3 lines of super minions, and that's why TSM is just waiting around.
Lod is 1 Q from dead to Haunter, who's also going for Ninja right now, trying to kite away. Blade Surge will kill him, and he's gonna get the first one picked up. Turret's gone as well. Now on to the Nexus. Lod also picked off a nice double kill for Haunter, and that's all she wrote. TSM will make it a 2-0. Envy made him work for it, but the work was done.
TSM strike back. Quick recovery from the loss of Phoenix 1 did not shake them.
Yeah, of sad for Envy, though. Back-to-back 0-2s on this week. They got swept by C9. They got swept by TSM as well. Certainly, it's one of the hardest weeks you could have in the North American LCS. And in fact, game against C9, that was even close for them. But sadly, it couldn't happen. They had almost to come back against TSM. That couldn't happen either. And it means that Envy moves down another loss, their record to 7-9 with only 2 matches to go. Apex is on their heels with 6. Phoenix went on Energy with a match to go also at 4. There's still a chance that they do get caught. And Envy at some point need to find themselves a win. And they don't have the easiest schedule.
They don't have the easiest schedule, and they're teetering on the edge of the playoff cutoff too. Apex are fighting as hard as they can to make it in, and Envy are trying to hold the line. They definitely want to make it there. Both those teams, new teams in the LCS, so it's definitely a very big prize for them to be able to get into playoffs, their first time as a North American LCS team, and they definitely have a lot of work ahead of them to get in there.
I will correct myself on as far as Envy's easy schedule, though. It's Echo Fox and Phoenix One. Now, Phoenix One maybe not an easy opponent, to be fair, with how they've been playing very recently. But basically, look, if they can win one of those 2 matches, of course, that means they at least kick down the chance of Energy and P1 catching. If they win both their matches, they're still in control, right? They can still stay ahead of Apex, win those 2 against P1 and Echo Fox and keep that spot for themselves, but it's still a very tight rope right now.
Dead man walking.
You know they're still looking to get themselves back into form. Okay, yes, they're almost guaranteed to keep themselves in the LCS, but looking good in the LCS, right? Maybe making plays looking good there, or looking good in spring 2017 seems to be what needs to actually happen right now, because Envy's still looking a little bit shattered.
Yeah, I mean, every time that we get close to the end of the split, it gets so intense as everyone jockeying for position here. Let's go to the interview, though, with Dom, because he is standing by on stage with the Burger King.
Thanks, guys. I'm joined by Bjergs, and congratulations on the 2-0. Very commanding series. How does it feel to be back on top?
It feels really good. I think me and the whole team just felt like we had something to show today. I think we did.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely did. Very fast series. Now, of course, everybody, the whole world took notice as you dropped your first match. How on earth were you able to recover so quickly?
I think Walter has done a really good job preparing us for our first loss because, eventually every team will lose at least 1 match. So I think we were all kind of expecting them to lose at some point. Not really, at least me personally, but I think they played really well. And they did some things that we weren't used to playing against, and I wouldn't say cheese, but they did some kind of alternative strategies and jungle routes that ended up working really well for them.
Yeah, it certainly was a very impressive series to watch. How did you take that as a player? I mean, you've been with TSM for quite a long time.
I mean, I think even last split, kind of got used to losing, but it's always kind of, you have to come back to it. I think for me, I made a lot of mistakes in that series, so I was really hard on myself, and I know that especially game 2, that was just a game for me to win if I had made a couple different decisions or calls. So yeah, it's just being really critical of yourself and seeing that, just these small few changes that I could have made could have turned around the series. So that's what I want to come in and do today.
Well, it definitely showed in this series. Very dominant performance. Now, next week, we got to keep talking about it. Immortals coming up. This is the battle for first place now. What are your thoughts on it?
I mean, Immortals is a really good team. I think slowly through the split, it's shown that Immortals and I are the top 2 teams. We are the 2 best teams, and this match is just going to show who is the very best.
All right. Well, Bjergsen, thank you so much. Congratulations on the victory. Looking forward to see you again next week. We're going to go ahead and toss it over the desk to break it down.
You were going to do that, but, all right. So, I'll take this moment then to welcome our viewers from NALCS2 who are watching TSM take the second game over Envy, also close that series out in 2-0 fashion. We're currently breaking down Team Liquid's dominant 2-0 showing over Energy in their rebound after the loss to CLG yesterday. I want to dive into the game now because this one, with all that craziness, there was definitely an advantage handed over to Team Liquid in terms of the number of kills. The one big advantage for Energy, though, was within this lane swap, Quas got significantly farther ahead of Lorlo on that Gnar versus Trundle matchup. It was the one thing going in Energy's favor.
And it didn't seem to matter what the TL were doing to fix it. They brought their dual lane bot side. Still, this Gnar was getting ahead. It's always going to happen in that kind of setup. But the thing that kind of progressed from that was it wasn't enough on its own. Right. The rest of the map was going horribly for Energy. I mean, we looked at GBN. Pretty much had the Magna running the tag for the Ash Arrow. 1-9-4 over both games. For GBM, this has been such a big fall from where we saw him last split.
Right.
Every Ashe just hits him, Dada goes in, and it doesn't matter the CS difference between him in the top lane. It's not going to be enough.
Right, exactly. I mean, Trundle will always have some amount of presence with his ultimate, as well as his ability to slow for team fights. The Gnar, if and when gets a good Gnar out, can be a big factor. But the replay, yeah, exactly. But our one and only replay for this game, 17 minutes of the game, is going to be a 4-4-0 for Team Liquid here. Energy looking to contest. Quas will TP in after having just gone mini from Mega, so therefore can't even build Rage at this point.
And you watch the TPM from the side. We're watching.
It's on the minimap.
Side. Yeah, exactly. It's coming from the minimap, and right now TL have kited back so far that they can just continue the engage with the Hecarim afterwards. And from that perspective, like, Energy don't actually have enough engage tools to get on top of them in this fight. Their only combination is going to be Karma plus Mega Gnar, which is already there, somehow matching up. But when one's on one side of the fight with no Mega Gnar, Karma's on the other, that's never going to work.
Right.
Let's get pushed
It's the
away.
problem with the composition. You put that 4-man unit and you're like, all right, guys, let's get the fight going. And everyone's just looking at each other like, wait, me? I'm supposed to be the one that's engaging? Like, the Graves is going to go up in there, the Karma, who starts a fight at this point? So just, being able to, this is a rare exception where 5-manning Herald works
out a good.
Yes.
Yeah, for the it's Energy's composition is an interesting one because if the fight plays to the way that your composition wants it to, it'd be great. No, I'm saying it's a strange composition because in an ideal world where you actually get the fight you want, it is a full 5v5. A 5-man Gnarl with a Victor ult and a Graves ult on top of it is a lot of damage. However, they have to remember that how can we actually create that fight? If you can't create that environment, that circumstance for yourself, then your composition is moot. It's essentially useless. And that's exactly that replay illustrates is they couldn't set up the fight they wanted. Got to move to player of the game, going to Dardoch. I mean, he did get hand-fed. He did get hand-fed by Kiwi, but we always say if you're going to get hand-fed kills, then it's your responsibility to make something happen with it, and he did just that in this game.
I mean, yeah, he had a really great showing on the Hecarim. I like the Trinity Rush as well as going with that really high damage Dead Man's Play, making sure the damage is really up there. And we saw towards the end of the game, just taking away those red buff and Fabulous. Like, no, I'm the keeper. You are the support now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Team Liquid picking up that victory is going to help them in that race for third. They're still alive in that as they play Cloud9 rather later in the season 9. I want to now transition to TSM versus Envy. This game here, TSM once again just dominant across the board. We saw the team composition crafted by Envy. Kog'Maw, first time here in North American LCS. We've seen this in LPL and LCK. It's been successful, and they do create a team composition that mostly replicates the same elements that these other successful teams have done, but it's not successful here.
Which means it also replicates the same weaknesses that this kind of composition has. If you look at the lane setup here, we called it instantly. It's like they need to lane swap, they need to draw this game out past 30 minutes. And the problem is, okay, they get the lane swap at first, but so much starts going wrong around the map. Again, you have this impact that comes out from Spend a little bit in the early game. You've got the Caitlyn to deal with and the push. Just too much when TSM plays in the early game to ever let this Kog'Maw composition come online late in the game. We started seeing glimpses. It didn't end up in it.
Well, I think Envy's just playing on 6:15 a little bit, getting a little too ahead of themselves, just getting ready for the no lane swap meta. But you have all losing lanes, all losing matchup. What do you think is going to happen? And exactly that, once again, surprise.
I think especially, too, when it's proven that you are the worst team, right? I mean, we have 8 weeks of evidence here to say that TSM is clearly one of the top teams in the league, the only team that might be able to compete with them, Immortals, or P1, exactly. But for this example here, as the worst team to craft a composition that has all losing lanes is definitely a scary prospect. Our only replay here, 8 minutes in, TSM's going to pick up 4 kills. This spells the end of the game because that's a ton of gold to be going up against a team composition that wants to get past a certain point.
And it's just TSM making the first move. Envy's not even close, trying to respond. They get a 5-on-2 dive, and immediately they kind of tunnel a little too hard to try to get this dive going. Fox's going to get picked up by the Braum here, and then Ninja's going to try to keep going. Sarah's going to try to escape with his twisted advance, but unfortunately, a nice little move by Hunter with the R dash is going to pick him up. So just being ahead of the macro play and Envy trying to respond later, and instead of just taking the losses and saying, hey, we got outplayed, no, just bash your head into it, see how it happens, you get a cracked skull.
Now, player of the game is going to Bjergsen, 5-0-8 on Karma. There was also some discussion around maybe Biofrost for early play in the game, and in that replay there, you'll have noticed that Biofrost makes a nice little sidestep to actually body block the flash E from Grox to keep Double Lift alive. So saving that kill there. Great play on him early game. But Pearson on the Karma, Deathless, 13 KDA, lots of poke, being essentially the initiation that the team needs through that, mantra E for the entire team.
It's just about consistency on Karma. That as a champion, she has such a well-rounded kit to allow you to do everything. That as long as you're playing smart, you're playing safe, and even sometimes aggressive when you're looking to go forward with a lead like that, it's very easy to rack up assists, rack up kills, because you're just going to naturally get damage. You got Ardent Sensor as well, just get everything on top of it.
The person I'm not a big fan of the on Karma. I feel like it's not taking full advantage of the damage prowess out there. Highly skilled player with a pretty much no skill shot champion. Doesn't really seem to click too much for me, but I do think they picked it because they didn't have an answer to Vladimir. Strong early laning phase, and you don't need to pull out all your tricks here to beat Envy, and they just did that.
So both of our series end in 2-0s. TSM over Envy and Team Liquid over Energy. We're headed for a break, but when we return, Cloud9 faces off against a red-hot Phoenix 1 in the Battle Arena, with Equifox battling CLG on NALCS 2. Stick around, we'll be right back.
Wait, is Pastry not casting?
Pastry channel. It's Kobe.
On bot.
Wait, but Kobe was Australian as well. That's what he
Kobe's
said.
Australian.
Kobe? No way.
Australian.
Yeah, he said that. Australia.
Australian bot.
He said that.
Australia
It's
bot.
Kobe from Australia.
Cog. How much other? I'm cutting right. Back off. I have a tank. Mantra Shield 3. Mantra Shield 2. Mantra Shield 1. Go for Gragas. Go for Gragas. Blind series, everything. Ninja dives in to try to be disruptive. And it's up to Lod to deal all the damage. They delivered an answer. And now Double's caught out. The body slam lands. And Lod is doing the damage. Rumulty up in a Ninja. Here's the damage output from Lod. Killing what he can. And he picks up one already. He's picked up a second. They're maybe turning it back around. Blade Surge will kill him. And he's going to get the first one picked up. Turret's gone as well. Now on to the Nexus. Lod also picked up a nice double kill for Hanser. And that's all she wrote. TSM will make it a 2-0. Envy made him work for it, but the work was done.
Hydraulics activated.
Get to finish this song.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Battle Theater, everyone. I am Dom Romer, joined today on Rick Fox's birthday.
Yeah, you know what he wants for his birthday? A win. They haven't had one since the first week of the split. That would be amazing if we're going to be able to pick up here and get some momentum towards that push.
That would be absolutely amazing. Joining me again is Joshua Jat Leesman, the veteran himself, and we are pleased to bring you today's second NALCS match 2 between Echo Fox and Counter Logic Gaming. It has been a tough time for Echo Fox, and team CLG here, they've been on an absolute tear lately. CLG have been racing up the standings.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday we got to see CLG compete in our match of the week against Liquid, where they snatched victory from the jaws of defeat in a series of deciding team fights. Before that, in game 2, it is interesting to see CLG winning through strong team fighting. They won a lot of games in MSI. Team fighting, even though it hasn't traditionally been thought of as one of their strengths. Maybe as they can hopefully come back into form, they can take their macro play and combine it with team fighting and really become a force, but it hasn't been so this split.
Yeah, they certainly have had their work cut out for them. However, that team fighting has been quite working out for them. And one more win would actually secure for them.
That would be absolutely awesome, obviously. I think their sights are obviously set a little higher there about getting maybe their third defending title in a row and a good shot at Worlds, but I mean, making sure they can clinch playoffs only increases the chances of any of those success.
Yeah, Echo Fox, on the other hand, though, they're trying to play spoiler in this set, as they have already been eliminated from playoff contention.
Yeah, and they're one loss away from actually being statistically locked into 10th place. So for Echo Fox, each of these games is really just an opportunity to improve before the promotion tournament. This wasn't exactly what they wanted coming into the split, but it's a situation they find themselves in now, and they need to make sure they hit that promotion tournament with as much momentum and strength as possible.
Yeah, they're certainly going to need it. Now, CLG and Aphromoo are on high alert, though, and they're going to sidestep Echo Fox playing spoilers.
We have to watch out for Echo Fox because they're just looking to still improve and take wins off of these teams going into playoffs, because it's pretty
An enemy has been slain.
embarrassing, I would say, to lose to a bottom half team. So we're going to take them just as serious as anybody we play.
Yeah.
Upsets are possible, Dom.
It is.
You saw Phoenix 1 take down
Exactly.
TSM. TSM's now 14 and Phoenix 1.
It's
I mean, you don't want to be the team that gives Echo Fox a win when Echo Fox hasn't won since the very first week of the split. So the first time COG played these guys, they were able to handle them, and they got to make sure they treat these guys very seriously and try and take them down fast.
Yeah. Well, it's time for us to get into the roster rundown. Up first, it is Echo Fox. In the top lane, KFO. In the jungle, Hard. In the mid lane, Froggen. AD carry, Keith. Support Big, and their coach, Heaventime.
Yeah, absolutely for them. And facing off against them is CLG. Darshan's going to be in the top lane. I think he's definitely not had the split that his reputation was able to expect. Definitely not performing next. Smithy, though, made some big strides this split. Huhi, I think, has been very inconsistent in the mid lane. Stixxay on AD carry, and Aphromoo, of course, the support and leader of the team with Coach Stix.
Yeah, and this is also a big opportunity for CLG to show that, hey, we do have some consistency. Maybe they try to go for some team fights again, like yesterday. Pull it back out and look for some more confident play against this team.
Yeah, exactly. CLG had the first half of the split when they played every team at 4-5.
Yeah.
And through here, if they're able to win their final 3 games, which are all teams that are below them in the standings, they'd end with 11 wins, which I mean they'd be 7-2 in their second half, which is a very strong record, probably third best in the league for the second half. And then when playoffs hit, as CLG knows,
yeah, they're going to need that momentum to carry them through, as the top 2 teams are looking very frightening. CLG looking to claim that 3-peat. First, though, they have to claim a playoff spot, and this is going to be the game that does it. A win here will secure that final playoff spot. But as you can see, we've entered into picks and bans for game number 1 between Echo Fox and CLG. Bard banned away from Aphromoo. No surprise to see that Anivia banned away. Oh, and the Jax ban from Darshan as well.
Yeah, it's something that was left unbanned in a game yesterday for CLG, but specifically in this matchup, it's something Darshan wrecked Echo Fox with the first time these teams played in the first half of the season. So So very targeted bans. For Echo Fox, as the blue side team, let's see what their first pick, since they target ban so heavily, that leaves a lot of power.
Yeah. And Sivir instantly going to be picked up by Keith. He showed a pretty strong performance on it when he got to play against Apex on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, Sivir has been respected by many teams recently as being one of the strongest champions in the game, although we do have to keep in mind COG isn't that worried about that. They actually did triple mid lane bans targeted at Froggen, so trying to eliminate his champion pool. And now they're just going up against Sivir, which can be punished in lane.
Yeah, and we hear from time and again from other teams that Echo Fox loves to play around Froggen so very frequently. So CLG hopping on that train saying, all right, we'll just shut down Froggen and see what we can do. And they've got some good utility to do that, as now Karma and Gragas have picked up.
Yeah, Gragas has been creeping up in jungle priority, especially in Korea. But here, even in North America, you notice how COD takes Gragas with every single possible jungler available. A lot of times you would think that Rek'Sai would be higher priority. For some teams, immediately is a higher priority. But at least for COG, like, the playmaking X-Smith you can make with it, and even if we think back to their game-ending team fight, down 4 Drakes and 10,000 gold against Team Liquid, it was actually a great shot. It kind of won them that game, so I can understand why COG would give that champion to X-Smithy once again.
Echo Fox pick right away, though. They're going to pick their own jungler hard, returning to Rek'Sai and Froggen. Nice and safe and standard with that Victor in the mid lane. Face off against 2B and show that he is the veteran mid laner.
Yeah, it's a little bit interesting how they ban 3 powerful mid laners and then Victor is kind of left up there. We do have to keep in mind, though, that this is a new patch on the LCS this week, patch 6.14, so Victor has undergone some nerfs. It now takes him 1,250 gold for his first upgrade of his Hex Core, which changes his timings in lane pretty substantially. And Huhi was just involved in the series against Team Liquid yesterday, where Cassiopeia was a huge power pick and was very fed in all 3 games that he was picked. So I understand why Huhi would want that once again, because he's had a lot of success on it.
Yeah, try to return that. It's a momentum and a morale thing. I had so much success on this champion yesterday. I imagine we'll have something similar today. But Echo Fox, they've already gone for their next 2 picks. Soraka and Aurelia locked in for Echo Fox.
Yeah, big cheers for the Terra cover right now. Aphromood's enjoying it, taking it in. Also because Soraka was banned against another game against Team Liquid, so it's interesting COD didn't prioritize it and then had it picked away for the Sivir and Soraka lane. But basically COG already has their support choice. It's top lane choice right now. It's not going to be Terra, guys. I'm sorry to disappoint the fans. This will be Darshan's top lane pick to go up against Aurelia. Jungle is one of the best.
Yeah, how appropriate that Struggle locked in control after playing with the audience for so long. Those are going to be our 2 lineups picked up for Cable. Echo Fox and CLG. Echo Fox were able to take a win on Friday over Apex. Big to make of that.
Yeah, they have been able to take a off a lot of teams. I know if we were still doing better ones, Echo Fox would actually have like 5 wins or something, but they haven't been able to do that up. Right now, we don't see anything wrong with it other than the fact that they don't have great understanding. The Sivir will help them run in, but it's going to be really difficult to run into a Jungle Pillar, a Gragas ultimate, a Cassiopeia ultimate, an Ashe Arrow, like all that stuff. So it does leave a lot of opportunities for COG to kind of macro the map a little bit, and I'm wondering how Echo Fox is going to find fights against a team that is so good at
Yeah, it really seems like CLG are going to be the ones dictating the pace of this game. But we want to know what you think. Rock the vote on Twitter. Contribute with your opinion. Use hashtag FOXWin or hashtag CLGWin. Of course, tweet that at LOL Esports. I imagine you could tweet it to other people, but they'd be like, why are you sending me this?
Yeah, just like at Ellen DeGeneres. FOXWin should be like, what the heck is going on here?
Yeah. Nobody would quite understand. But